Hello everybody, this is Carol from Friendly Quail. I'm working on my sample journal. I'm glad you're with me today. Thanks for being here. I had made a video the other day and then I didn't post it. And it was finishing this up and I messed it up so much. I thought I can't do that. But what I did is I took this fabric and I was able to tuck it up underneath in here because these rivets were the only thing holding it on. And then I had my piece to put on here and I put it underneath and then I glued it on here and then I realized I couldn't open my book up all the way. Once I had it glued on here, it ripped in here. So I ripped all that out. I had this in already. So I cut two pieces and I put it in here. Now normally I would have wanted this under this, but that's life. So everything is done on the book cover and I'm going to start working on some pages. I'm going to do one today. I'm going to do partial tutorial and partial just kind of tell you what I did. So, I'm going to start with this because this has to dry in between. And what I'm going to do, put it on this magazine page, is I'm going to paint this. This is one of the die cuts from Tim Holtz, Wildflowers, and I'm going to paint this. And so I've got my watercolors. These are watercolors. And I'm going to just watercolor paint the top of this yellow ochre. And I haven't done this a lot, but I believe it was from Which Craft Do You Do did something like this, and then I saw it on Corey Dahlman, and so I'm kind of trying it, and I'm going to put that in my sample journal. Okay. Now I'm going to paint the bottom. Some of it's in the holes, or this hole didn't get punched out, one or the other. It wasn't punched out. Okay. And I might come back and make that a little darker, but it's pretty good. Okay, now I'm going to do the green. And I'll show you what I do later. I've cut these out of just plain colors of cardstock. I've cut these out of cream or white like this is. I end up with a lot of pieces left over from when I print journal cards. And anyway, I think I want this top part a little bit darker. I won't water it down so much. When I do journal cards and I print them out on my computer, I almost always have like strips of paper left over the cardstock. So then I cut these out of them. So I'm going to just put this kind of aside to dry. I'm going to do one page today. This will be the page that opens up when you open the book. Stick this aside. Okay. So, I'm going to put this piano paper over this page because I don't like the way it looks. And I think I want that over further. But yeah, that'll be better. I'm kind of gauging where I have to line it up. This is 2 parts glue, 1 part water. And when I'm doing a big thing, like when I glue the end papers on or something like that, I might use this, and that way I'm getting it all over everything without any lumps and bumps like you get from glue sometimes. Sometime on this stuff, it's kind of going to make it buckle a little bit, but it'll go down after it dries. But I'm going to do this next so that this has time to dry so I can start putting things on it. All right, now I have to get this down where I want it. A little bit straighter than this. I'm lining these up along the bottom. There. I think that's pretty good. And I'm just going to kind of smooth it on. And I'm going to let this dry until, and then I'll cut the excess paper off of it. So this will be pretty much how I'm putting the papers on, because I'll be putting other papers on other pages, and I'll basically be using the same thing. I didn't get it straight, did I? It's crooked, but I think it'll be okay. Looks okay to me. Looks like I need a little more glue in here, and I might have to go in with better glue if it doesn't stick. Mostly it did it okay. Going in on the corners a little bit. So we'll see how it is when it dries. Okay. So my next thing, I'm going to go back to this flower, and hopefully it's dry enough to do the next step. This I'll put aside. Okay. It feels pretty dry. Okay. Now what I'm going to be doing is embossing this. And so I'm going to use this embossing dabber by Ranger. It's clear transparent embossing. And it has a sponge. And you can kind of daub it on to whatever you are going to emboss. Oh, I just broke my flower. I saw that was a weak point and I didn't. I'll just glue it on, because it is going to be glued on. I was trying to be careful, but, you know, stuff happens. Okay. And lately, stuff's been happening a lot to me. I'm going to lay this here and get that embossing, can't pick it up, embossing powder on it. I have the ultra thick here because that's what I have. That's clear. Okay. I'm going to set this over here temporarily. And put this embossing stuff back in my jar. I just poured it in there. And let's see, I might go back and I use a magazine sometimes when I'm gluing and stuff, and then I can just turn the page. And it's something I just would have threw in the recycle bin, so that's it. Now, I'm gonna emboss this. So I've got my heat gun. Sorry for the noise. I think that's done. Oh, okay. All right. Now I'm going to set this aside kind of to cool off. I didn't get it perfect, but I haven't done a lot, so. And my dauber's new, so I was having trouble getting this stuff to come out, but it'll work. It's looking good. I think I'm going to use my paper cutter to take off the excess paper. I can line it up with the edge of the cardstock. Okay. And I'll save that. Cut cardstock off. I just took just a smidge off that other one. Okay, that's good. It's still a bit damp, but I want to keep going. All right. Took my husband to the eye doctor today. He had surgery. He has glaucoma, and he had a laser surgery to release the pressure in his eye because it was getting worse. Okay. And it was his checkup, but he gets his eyes dilated, and then he doesn't want to drive, and I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to either. Okay. Now, as far as the holes, I got a hole punch. Where did I put it? Here. I have this hole punch, but you can't really see where it's going. This is actually a bigger one. It's not, my crocodile is a little smaller than this. But if I leave it up, I can see where to line up the hole. It's not exactly the same size, but it's pretty close. Get that out of there. All right. So I'm poking those, or doing those holes. Even if I'm going to end up gluing something on the other side, then I'll be able to look at this side and see where the holes are. It's just stuck in there. Got something skinny. There. This isn't my favorite hole punch, but it's okay. As long as I leave this open so I can see what I'm doing. Might be having trouble getting it out because there's a little glue in it too. Okay, so this is going to be my page, and I didn't mind the grid that was under there, and it was kind of greenish. For this page, that's why I could use the piano paper on it so that the holes show that kind of greenish grid through it. And I thought that looked nice. Now, I've got a number of things here that I'm going to do with this page. And this is just a ruffle that I made by sewing and pushing it under. I have a video of that in my, just search for it in my list. If you don't know how to make a ruffle, but it's fairly easy, but and I didn't ruffle it right onto the page because I don't know what I'm going to do on the next page. But so I'm just putting some glue down here, and I'm going to lay this along the edge, and it hangs off just a little bit, that's okay. But I do kind of want it even. Sorry for my head in the picture. I'm just going to kind of hold it here for a little bit. As the glue starts to hold, I can let go. So, kind of figured out what I was going to do. Now this is something that I had made that I'm going to use in here. This is from the same Tim Holtz. It's actually part of what I cut off to make my end paper. And I used the end of the piano player roll on there. You can probably see it says this is a super tone piano roll, Sears and Roebuck. And what I did is I just folded this into 3 parts, and I glued and then taped with washi tape a string on the back. I went underneath this player piano roll and came out the hole, and this one goes to the end there. And then I made a little paper pad with eco-dyed paper in it, and I used a little piano roll on the top and just stapled it and then glued it in here. And I'm going to put this in. You could just put these in a pocket, or whatever you want, but I'm going to use this as a tuck. So I'm going to tie this back up, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. And if you need to see a tutorial, whoops, I didn't do that right. Put it in the comments, and I can do a tutorial on it. I thought it might be straightforward enough, but if you need to see it done, let me know. It wouldn't be that hard for me to do that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to make this a tuck, and that's kind of why I put the washi tape on, because I'm only going to glue it on this part right here. And let's see here, I'm going to use my art glitter glue and put it on the back, the side and the bottom, the side that's going next to the holes here. And oops, I want it to be up a little bit more off the bottom. So it's only glued here and here. So I can tuck something in there. And I'm going to wait till it dries. Now, my flower is going to go on in here. And I can see where it was. Let's see what's here. It broke off right here. So I think I'll just glue the bottom on, and then I'll glue the top on so it matches up with the bottom. So using a die cut, also using the embossing, painted on the die cut. I have my piano roll. I have the ruffle. Well, see, you can get quite a few ideas on one page. Now, let's get this glue on here. Almost gives it a little bit of a three-dimensional look to it. Okay, and I think I'm going to use my, if I can figure out where I put it. I have such a mess. Up. Got some glue inside the hole, but it will dry clear. I'm just going to grab this. And that went right there. I can see the glue while it's white, but it will dry clear, and that will be nice. So get that down into there. Okay, and then I took a bag, a little glassine bag, and I coffee dyed it, and I made a little tag. I had these tags that I had gotten from somewhere. I don't know, they were already made up, these little ones. And I cut a piece of cardstock from the same papers, and then I stamped the word create on a piece of the piano roll paper with potting soil archival ink. It's a this Ranger as well. And I have a stamp that's all in a row that I can attach them together. And I made the word create, put a little string on it. This is going to be going into here, and I'm going to glue this on like a little pocket right up here. So now we've got, I'll take it out while I glue it, glassine bag and the coffee dyed, and taking a little simple journal card and just making it look nice. And we can write right on the back of it. I'm going to line that up here. And we've got that, and you can kind of see through it. And then I pulled out this tag that I already had done, and there's blue on this player piano roll, and there's a little bit of blue in this fabric that I used for the ruffle. So I had made this a while ago. I think I got it a freebie from somewhere, but honestly it's terrible. I can't remember where it was from because I made the tags up then, and then I don't remember where it was. But I've used this idea plenty of times where I put a tab on the side and then I attach a little charm. So now this can slide in here, and it can be in the tuck, and we've got 1 page of ideas. So let's see what it was. Piano paper 1, 2, the die cut 3, watercoloring it 4, embossing 5, coffee dyeing glassine 6, making the little journal with stamped word 7. This part here is 8, 9, and actually if you count the little notebook on the inside of here, there's like 10 different things that I've used before. So that's my first page, and it will be going right in here. And I have a start to my sample. I know I'm not going to be able to get tons of pages in here. It's already, you know, it'll be thick. But I will get enough of them that I can use lots of ideas. So if you like the idea, you might want to make a sample journal of your own. I will use this to journal on, because even though I've got stuff all over it, I have a lot of journaling space. I have the back of the card. I have all of those sheets of paper in here. So a lot more journaling parts than if I would have just left it and wrote on it. And part of it is I want to make it look nice, and I love doing it. So, you know, if you're not into that, don't do it. But I enjoy it. Now, I'll be taking this out to do the back. And because I'll have 2 side by side, I'll probably start doing kind of a spread with 2 pages. And I might not put quite as much on every single page. But I do want to get as many ideas as I can into this journal so that I can say, oh, what do I want to do? And flip through it and say, oh, I remember that. Oh, I did that. I haven't done that for a while, and use it up. So that's it for today. This is Carol from Friendly Quill. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.